Welcome to the Business as Mission podcast, dedicated to those who long to see God glorified in business and the nations reached for Christ. Your host is Mike Bayer, longtime BAM leader and founder of Third Path Initiative, an online education resource for starting and growing BAM businesses around the world.
Well, welcome back to another episode of the Business as Mission podcast. I am excited to be here with a friend of mine, a dear brother that we connected in Curitiba, Brazil back in November. And, you have those people around the world that you just click, you meet them, and you know that you're going to be friends for a long, long time. And that would be Guido as well. His name is Guido Bretzke. We'll just call him Guido. We're going to have a conversation about his business that he started, his vision, how he got there. So, Guido, welcome. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for inviting me to this conversation. It will be a great pleasure to speak a little bit about our journey here in Brazil, the challenges and what God is doing. It will be very, very nice, very great time.
Yeah, I think about when we first met, I was in Curitiba where Guido lives, and a mutual friend down there, he goes by the name of João Mordomo. Other people knew him by another name, but anyway, he introduced us and we started talking, and João sat over to the side and was kind of quiet. we just ended off and started talking. This is a brother I'm really looking forward to getting to know better and for years and years to come. So Guido, first of all, just give us a little background on you and your family history and your business background. And we're going to get to where you're doing now. One of many things, by the way, to our listeners. Guido is a consummate entrepreneur. So he's not just he won't be a one business guy. He's got a very creative mind. But give us some background, give us some history, and then we'll pull up to the present time.
Yeah, I'm Brazilian, was born in Brazil. My grandparents and parents, everyone we are German, have a German background. We were. Bretzke is a German name, a nickname, like pretzel in the US, food industry since the beginning of the times. And my grandparents already were Christians, my parents, and from both sides. And my father's an entrepreneur. He started this food industry called Bretzke, but we are competitor to Jello, producing gelatin powder and cake mix and the chocolate powder like Nesquik, and we are competitors to these guys. And I started to work there when I was a child. My father already was, without knowing anything about business as mission, he was holding Bible study meetings at the company and so on since 40, 50, 60 years ago. And that was my beginning in the business career and Christian career in business as mission together. And making a long story short, in 2010, I became the CEO of this company, my father's company, for 10 years. And during this time, I traveled around the world, selling to other countries, 55 countries, from small countries like Guyana, Suriname, and from to North America, the United States, and Germany, all kind of countries. And during this time, I learned a little bit about the pain that we are solving right now. In 2010, I started my own company. It was a social network of recipes, like an Instagram for recipes. And there I learned a little bit about the digital world, startups, and so on. But always having this heart for what I can do to put God's what God is doing to us in the business and through the business. My short experience was with this brother called João Mordomo when we sent a guy to Egypt, to Cairo, to be our representative there. He was a missionary working to selling pudding and gelatin in general in Egypt. That was the first attempt, and during 2 or 3 years we started that, and it was, I think, 2004 during this time, 20 years ago, or almost 20 years ago. And what we are doing right now, We have a platform, a marketplace where we connect uh, gig workers to companies, and we provide hours, service hours. So the now we are focusing on the supermarkets and grocery stores. Grocery stores have a great issue. They have the demand in different hours during the day. Sometimes no demand, and some hours during the day very full stores and very empty shelves. And how to solve this issue during the different days in the week? There are days with more sales, there are days with less sales, and how to solve this issue. Then we created this possibility where you can ask or order a person for an hour job, 2 hours, 3 hours to solve to work. I think to do anything you need in your shop. And so you can order a pizza to the delivery platform, or you can order a cab or a transportation to Uber, and through Anthor, which is our company, you can order a worker for an hour, 2 hours, and 3 hours. That's what we are doing right now.
So part of what really intrigued me, I think many of our listeners know, I spent about 30 years working in the employment industry, primarily in the U.S., in the temporary industry, which is very similar. The temporary industry has really tried to figure out how do you staff, how do you put people into these 2 or 3 hour assignments, maybe twice a day. They might go 3 hours here and go off 3 hours, back 3 hours. And they've never really figured it out, and they've begun to experiment a little bit with the idea of online platforms like Uber or Lyft or TaskRabbit or some of the other that are out there. And so when Guido and I were having breakfast, he started describing this to me. I thought, he's already solved the problem. He's doing this. So the idea being, right, that if particularly in the merchandising, the retail, grocery store world, where I need some work done, I need somebody for a few hours, I literally order this person online. The candidate looks at it and says, yes, I'll do that. And then the rest of it takes care of itself, that is a difficult niche, and you figured it out. So where did the vision come from to not go into sort of traditional staffing where someone goes for 8 hours or multiple days or long-term assignments, but to really get into this high turnover area? Where'd the idea come from?
That's a great story to tell you. I'm very always when I speak about what we are doing, or I teach people what we are doing, they wonder what a great idea. And I have to say to you, that's not my idea. God is so good to me. He said, I will not let you be proud about this idea. I will put someone in your way which has maybe. That was a friend of mine. He's not a Christian. And I was with this other company, PIP, and I was having financial troubles. It was very difficult. And I was looking to find ways to make money. And I was selling connections between CEOs and the digital world. And this guy told me it would be a great idea if I could order someone to make the merchandise for my company anywhere, because I sell to different places in Brazil. Brazil is very large, like the US, it's very large. And 3,000 kilometers from here, I have delivered products, and I need someone to put the shelves there. And there are people around the stores. Why not have an app, and the people around the stores can go there and make this service? And we started with this idea, but it was a very difficult idea to really deliver the entire solution. And then God, through his ways, sent us COVID-19. And during this period, the supermarkets, the retail stores, they had this problem because no one wanted or no one could go to the supermarkets. They started ordering online. And a lot of supermarkets didn't have people to pick these products to the e-commerce platforms that the orders that were doing online. And they asked us to provide these people to make this picking service, or to be the shoppers for these groceries to deliver to the houses. And after that, the clowns, they saw these people working in different hours, and they asked us why this person cannot help me to make to count inventory or to change prices and slowly the pain that we were not looking for, but we were solving, and the clients, we were listening to the clients and the customers. It made us realize the best way to do that, and we started to look, and that was our team. We started to look what happening in this grocery or retail stores, and we realized the great pain. So we are now looking, and some people are saying we are being inevitable, because when we stop to provide workers, they start to have problems, to have more people in line, to have less products on the shelves, and to sell less. So we became inevitable. And on the other side, when we see the workers during this period, a lot of people were layoffs and people without work. And you don't need even a car or a bicycle to deliver something. You just need your body to work in a smartphone. And almost anyone has a smartphone nowadays. So we are also a great problem for the people. And I think that's worldwide. Jesus said, you will have always poor people. And happily, that is a reality. And poor people need jobs and need to make money. And so we can provide for these people ways to make money without even need to be interviewed. Some people get nervous when they are interviewed. So you need just to make an appointment, or not an appointment, just to fill your data on an app, and you can work in the next hour and make money, and much more money than if you are a worker. So it's good for everyone.
It's a great story. I mean, I love the fact that God used somebody else to give you the idea. It makes me smile because he does that with a lot of people, me included, because he knows we want to take credit and we can't.
You can't.
But ultimately, every good idea comes from God anyway. But then you see a need, right? And even in the midst of your very positive interpretation of COVID, is it was bad. We all know it was terrible, but good came out of it. And so here you are in a circumstance, seeing a need, and this is really for the benefit of our listeners. All businesses start with either seeing a need that isn't being met, or seeing a need that isn't being met well, or it's not being met in a way that's affordable and accessible. But it all starts with a need. And so you see this need for deliveries and things related to what's going on in the grocery stores, stocking shelves, whatever it happens to be, very short-term assignments. And then the other piece I want to point out, because this is the story, part of the story that really intrigued me when we were talking in Curitiba, is that the people that you're employing, many of them, they are the poor, and many of them are considered unemployable. They're overlooked. They're the people we drive by, walk by, don't even notice, and they need jobs too. And maybe they don't know how to get a job. Maybe they've got something in their background that makes it difficult. Like you say, some of them are just nervous to interview. And yet now, seeing that need, you've got these folks who need a job, want a job, and through this platform of Anthor, they can get a job and they can show up. So when you do that, and not everybody that you are putting to work is unemployable. Many of them are, they just need something.
Yeah.
Tell us a little more about the people. And then, I'm thinking about one guy in particular. And I'm going to get to, you guys can't see this, but Guido's laughing because he knows exactly who I'm talking about. But just tell us a little bit more about the people and their need, because you have a heart for them. This is not just business and making money or even meeting business needs. You have a vision for the people.
Yeah, great question or great appointment. Great point. I always had it's hard to do something for people. When I was a young boy, I was I think 6-7 years old. I was playing with the small cars, And I always played. I was a rich guy helping the poor people. I don't know why, but what my heart said, it was a small one. And I never had this opportunity. I always had also this heart to make something very big, and it was one the opposite. I thought it was one the opposite of the other. And when we started that, I was wondering how I make this company different. People say that the gig economy is making the employment, the relationship are not so strong relationship, or they're exploiting the workers, and that they say always about Uber drivers and so on. And then when you see Uber drivers, they are sometimes a former manager, a former sales guy is unemployed, and he goes to drive cars to make money. And we have the opposite. We can provide work for someone that has nothing. And we started, we put a phrase or a main object goal that was improving the way people work. And I started to say to people here that our employees, we have to change the way people work. We have to have this focus to make the lives of these people better. We have the goal to be that we say always in the prayer that Jesus told us to pray. Your will be done. I don't know how it's in English. Heaven on earth. How is that in English? Sorry, I don't know. I say you will be done, and
your will be done on earth as it is in heaven, right? In English, but
yeah, I say to people, yeah,
Portuguese. So
yeah, but I will say let's be a part of paradise for everyone we are touching. Everyone we are touching, we have to be a piece of paradise, a piece of heaven, a piece of the they can feel that. Let's make these people feel how it will be in heaven when they are in touch with us. Our employees are not Christians. A lot of them are not Christians, but it started to work also to find workers. I could find managers that used to work in big companies, tech companies, telecom companies, and we had low money to pay high salaries. So they came to work with us with less salary, with no stock options, nothing like that, just for the purpose. Because they think I'm working on a big telecom or fintech, and what I'm doing is nothing because I'm not changing the world. I'm just making people richer. And here I have a purpose. I can do something for people, and I see these people changing their lives. Yeah. You were talking about Gabriel. Gabriel is a guy who was homeless. His mother died from COVID during the pandemic, and he was living on the streets without a way to make money. And he wanted to make something. And he was looking for Uber, for different apps, and he found it and started to work it out. After a while, he was living in his own home. He was renting a home, and this supermarket where we were providing services, he contracted him. Now he's an employee. He's making a career. And people ask me sometimes, but you're losing your workers. I say, no, I just doing what I have to do. I'm giving them a new opportunity. I'm providing a possibility to have a new life. We have a bunch of stories like that from people that were addicted to alcohol, and miraculously they stopped to drink and started to work through our app. And I think not. I'm sure that God doing that, not us. They're just being the way that God is doing His job. I know I have a lot more to do, not just providing jobs, but I'm always amazed what God is doing through that. This is an ONG, but it's not an ONG. It's a business. It's a real business. We have great companies, big companies. The largest employer in South America with Commercial Group, they see us as the provider of 10% of their workforce. They have 150,000 employees, and they think they can have 15,000 employees working daily. And that's not just an ONG, that's a business. I'm amazed about that. That it's only because Jesus made that. It's not we.
First of all, if it's okay with you, I'm going to put the link to the video for Gabriel in the show notes, because when you see it, and it has English subtitles, so you'll know the conversation, it will bless you and it will break your heart and it will inspire you to see just how when you give somebody a job and they work, you're giving them such a blessing, such a gift of dignity. And they don't always end like Gabriel. They don't always get long-term jobs and become, successful, but many do. And so it's such a God-like thing to give people this opportunity that don't have it to work, to learn, and to have a better life. In my company, we always use the phrase changing lives one job at a time.
Yeah,
because we believe we had at one time 110,000 Gabriels, and we believed and still do believe that when we gave them a job, we blessed them, and we had a chance. We didn't always change their lives because not everybody wants to be changed.
Exactly.
But if they wanted to change, they were getting a chance. They were getting an opportunity. So again, to the listeners, just look at the show notes, and you will see a link there. It'll have Gabriel's name next to it. Go to it when you get a chance. Watch this video. Get us some Kleenex, because you're likely going to cry, but it really will inspire you, not just to see what Guido is doing, but also to see what perhaps you could do as well, wherever you are.
Exactly. It's important to just to understand better the video. This guy wrote to us he could not work anymore because his smartphone was not his own. It was borrowed. And he had to stop a little while since he could find a new one, and we provide a new one. And that's the video where we give them this phone. Just to understand what I had with the guy, so you can understand what's happening, and take your tissue. And I saw this video, I don't know, hundreds of times, and I always be thankful that what God is doing is so amazing.
Yeah. And when God gives you a chance to see the actual blessing and impact you're having, that's a marvelous thing.
We'll be right back after a short break. Third Path Initiative is your go-to site for accessible, affordable BAM training. Learn about the biblical foundations for business as mission, ethical capitalism, BAM strategies, and how to become a kingdom employee. It's all at thirdpathinitiative.com.
So where is the company now? I know you're up and running. You're based in Brazil. I know. Tell me a little bit about your global vision, and then I know also you're in the quest for investment capital to expand. So let's talk about those two things. First of all, what's the long-term dream and vision for Anthor? And for those of you who are listening, it is Anthor. That will also be in the show notes. The website is anthor.com, so you can go and check it out. But tell us where we see where it came, how it's been going. We hear a story of Gabriel and others like him, but where's it going?
The dream that God gave me is to be worldwide. I believe all what I lived till now, working in these several countries, and that made me see that it's a worldwide pain. And we have, when you start a business, it's much easier if you have a pain to solve. It's easier because people want to buy a pain killer. It's easier to sell. So this is where since I started to find out which name to give to this company, I created this name. It does not mean anything. It's what we are doing. And that was the purpose. I had to find a word that could be said in any language and that had no, since maybe there will be someone that will say, okay, I know this word, it means anything. I hope nothing bad. But I didn't find any meaning for this word. So I put this word, making vision to be worldwide. So I believe that we are doing for the relationship between companies and workers what several years ago happened with the servers and now in the cloud. Few years ago, everybody had, or every company had a storage computers at the company. And now every company is just renting space from Azure, from Google Cloud or AWS. And you pay for what you use. The same occurred with SaaS, software as a service. Several years ago, or Windows or Microsoft started with the Office package you had to buy, you bought, and had the ownership of the software. And now you are renting, you are paying SaaS, software as a service. And we are saying that we are the future of work. We believe the work will be workforce as a service.
Never.
And we believe I don't know, that's the first in my mind. There is no study about it, but I believe that more than 25% of the workers worldwide will be working this kind of on-demand work. Not everybody, because you need managers or some staffing, you need employees, but at least 25% of the workforce will be on demand. I have this strong belief. Why? Because it's better for the companies, better for the workers. The worker can work when he wants, how much he wants, where he wants, doing what he wants, and making how much money he wants. Some people want to work more and make 3 times. Some other just need less, and they can work and can do missions or can travel or can do vacations or can work in Hawaii, Brazil, and ski and so on. That's our vision, the future of work. We started with this special niche, which is retail, because there is a need of more workers and more variation of the demand, but other industries need the same as well. So our vision is to be worldwide, to change the workforce worldwide. We believe there will be maybe more platforms, not just us, but it is a kind of network effect that the winner takes out or the winner takes most, like big platforms. But I believe it's a geographical network effect. So each country can have a different one. But since we have hard for the people, we want to do that through a Christian view of the world. Mm-hmm. So we are looking now for investment for Series A. And until now, I didn't have this possibility to have. I have 1 or 2 small funds that invested in us. They are Christians. And my co-founder, he was not a believer. But we agreed last year, and he's not at the company anymore. So I own the big part of the stocks, or God owns. I'm just the in charge person. to work in this, and of course I would like to have Christian investors, Christian clients, so we could have this vision for the future of work, and so this be a way to spread the gospel. I think we can do much more than only provide jobs or money. We can, of course, in different countries, there are countries where we need more. There are more qualified employees, and since so not United States or Germany or so on, or if you go to South Africa or you go to Nigeria, there are different kind of workers. Mm-hmm. So in different countries, we can maybe educate people financially, and why not in God values or Christian values, and maybe even spread the gospel. In other parts, we can use this platform to just provide jobs, but that's also part that Jesus always helped people. The first thing he did always was to attend the physical needs. After that, he made the follower steps. So I think there are so many possibilities to use this as a tool for spreading gospel. Missionaries, they have an issue today. Some missionaries, they live like beggars,
Yeah.
Because they have no money. So we can provide jobs for this guy. We are developing what now I don't know how to say it in English, multi-layer marketing. I don't know how do you say that in like Mary Kay.
Yeah.
And we can do
multi-level, right?
Multi-level. So we are developing something like that to reach new and small cities. So gig workers that manage another gig worker platform, gig workers community. So we can have missionaries that manage a small community where they can help and spread the gospel and provide jobs and provide money and education and so on. That's the sounds the limit. I just have this heart for do that. And of course, I'm looking for investors and people that can dream this dream and realize this dream with us.
Yeah. So, and I know you're in conversation with investment firms currently, but if somebody's listening to the podcast and would like to not only know more about the business, but also maybe to consider prayerfully investing. I know you're not asking for gifts. This is not This is not an NGO. This is not a nonprofit. This is a for-profit business, and it would need profit-oriented investors, preferably kingdom-minded Christians for sure.
Yeah.
But if you're listening and you're interested in learning more about the investment opportunity, do they just email you directly, Guido?
Yeah, please. My email is Guido, Guido in German, in Italian or in Guido, Guido at Anthor.com or LinkedIn or Instagram, but it's easy to find me. It will be a pleasure to send you material in English or in Portuguese. But in English, I have all the materials, the numbers, the financial numbers. We have everything to be. It's like you said. We are a for-profit company, and that's the nice or the great thing we can do. I always say there's only one way to make money if you help other people.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Bill Gates helped a lot every one of us. He provided us with email, Word, Excel, and he just got a few cents for each one he helped.
Right.
And the few cents together make him a billionaire. So if he help a lot of people, as 3 cents, you make profit for every investor. I'm sure for that.
Yeah. Well, and so the email address, Guido, and it is, for those of you who are English speakers, you'll think Guido, Guido. It will be also in the show notes. Email, ask for the information, and also just be thinking about the business model. As I'm listening to you talk, I think about, because it's an online platform that you have on your smartphone, you could also communicate. You could push out messages that could be encouragement, could be job tips, it could be spiritual. I mean, there's no end to what this type of business model could accomplish over time. So, I think, again, part of why we do this podcast, first of all, is to tell your story, but the other is to have people say, maybe I could do something like that and take an idea and take it a different direction, and God can use that as well. So, well, we're going to stop with this because you and I could go on forever. We could have spent the whole day together in Curitiba, but we had to part ways. I will see you again. I'll be down there sometime later in the year, so I'll get some time with you again. Looking forward to that. So Anthor.com is the name. Anthor is the name of the company. Anthor.com is the website. Guido at Anthor.com is the email, and also there'll be a link for the video about Gabriel, and as Guido told us the story, and it'll mean a lot to you to watch it. So Guido, thanks so much, brother, for being with us. Thanks for sharing time with me. It's great to see you. God bless you, man.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, and I thank you also for the opportunity to share what God is doing there. It's not so easy. Sometimes people can see, that's an easy story. It's not so easy. The devil's not letting us have a good time. Last year was a very tough year, but God does miracles every day, every single day. And now he sent me some managers that are Christians, and thank you for the opportunity to share that, Mike. You are a blessing for me too, and an inspiration, and God help us to do much more and to be for His glory, just for His glory.
Amen.
Thank you.
Well said.
Thanks for listening to the Business as Mission podcast. We invite you to become part of the story by supporting the BAM podcast at patreon.com/BAM Stories. There's a link in the notes with this episode. For more information, go to thirdpathinitiative.com or tryventure.com. Please share this podcast and give us a review wherever you listen.